Welcome to ICA. So this video we are going to see about the important and also the expected questions from the building materials. So we can expect these questions in the building materials for overseas examination, and also sort of the important questions we are going to discuss on this class. Let's see. Okay. The first question. A course of a stone or bricks having a curve similar to that of the arc known as. So what is meant by course of a stone or bricks having a curve? So in that curve similar to that of a arc. In that curve, this is arrangement of a stone or brick. So this is called as a course. So it is similar to that of a course of a stones or bricks having in a curve. So there is a curve, inside that stones or the brick it with that. So what does it mean? The process is called as a arcing. So the process is called as a arcing. Next one. Which of the following is the three different grades in cement according to the BS? So this is a standard question. So whatever happened, the grade is called as a 33, 43 and then 53. So according to that strength of a cement, we can fix the grade, that is 33, 53, 43 and then 53. Next, the ability of a material to cut another metal is called. So that depends upon the hardness. So what is meant by the hardness? It has the capacity to it is the ability to property of a resistance. Hardness is called as the property of a resistance. This hardness can be depend on the number of. So number which depends on the scale as. So we can tell it as a scale of a hardness. That number is called as a scale of a hardness. So the hardness can be depend on the Mohs scale of hardness. So according to that we can divide it into that. So the ability of metal to cut another metal. So ability of a metal to cut another metal, that is called as an. So greater the hardness, what can be higher? The resistance can be higher. So this can be leads to the deformation. So what is called as answer is hardness. The formation of a soap patches. So what? Then the soap, it is in the sense the process of soap is present. The process of soap, that is called nothing but the saponification. So this is a direct question. Formation of the soap. Soap is called as a saponification. The formation of the soap patches on the painted surface is termed as a saponification. And what is meant by sagging, running and flashing? So running and sagging both are similar. Running and sagging both are the similar. What happened in the sense? Running and sagging in the sense thick film, that is a thick painted film. While applying on the surface, what happened? While applying the paint on the surface, it running downwards. So that is called as a sagging or running. So that is a painted film which can while applying the paint, what happened? That is a thick, that is a film running downwards. So when it comes running downwards, what happened? It leaves some areas. Leaves some area. It is some area as uncovered. So it leaves as a small area as a uncovered. That is called as a sagging or running. Flashing in the sense there is a. So flashing in the sense it gives a glossy cover. That is not as a completely covered. That is called as a, that it gives a glossy cover. Somewhat it should be in that surface. So that is called as a flashing. It may be in a flashy spots will be there. Next, end support of an arc. So this is an arc. So it has an end support. So this end support is called as an abutment. So in case next arc will be there, series of an arc. So these two. So in this condition, these two are called as an abutment. So that is an intermediate one support is called, that is called pier. So pier means So our question is the end support of an arc is a abutment. So that is the end support is abutment, intermediate support is called as a pier. Next, the appliance used for lifting the stones, that is called a levis. So that is levis is a material, it is used for lifting the stones. Next, the perpendicular distance between the intradose and then extradose of an arc. So what is meant by? So this is a user. So this is called as an intradose. This is called as a extradose. So in that, this is called as an perpendicular distance. This is called as an so there is a perpendicular distance between the intradose and extradose, that is called as an depth of an arc, and also we can tell it as an height of an arc. Both are same. Depth of an arc and also the height of an arc. This is called as an intradose, that is a user intradose and then extradose. Perpendicular distance is called as a depth of an arc and also the height of an arc. Next, minimum thickness of a wall in a stone masonry cannot be less than 35 centimeter. It cannot be less than 35 centimeter. Blue stain in the timber. So blue stain in the timber, blue stain in means, so what is meant by the blue stain? There is a bluish color formation in sapwood due to fungi. So that is a defects due to the fungi, that is called as a blue stain. That is a bluish color formation in the sapwood. In coarse rubble masonry, so 3 the thickness. So in that coarse rubble masonry, there is 3 sorts are there. One sort, second sort and then third sort. So what is the thickness is called as a 10 mm for first sort, 12 mm for second sort, 16 mm for third sort. In distemper, the base materials. What is meant by distemper? So everything has an one formula, that is a base plus carrier plus pigment. It gives a fluid paste. So for that, so for our concept is here distemper. So in distemper we are using bases chalk or powdered chalk. It is called as a whiting, and carrier as water. Pigment as coloring pigment, depend upon the color. That fluid paste is a distemper. So this is a process. So we need a base. What is the base is called as a chalk, powdered chalk or chalk, and also we can tell it as a whiting. Next, tool used for making boring small. For making a small holes we are using the tools gimlet. A stone used for roofing purpose. So for roofing purpose we are using a which stone? That is a slate. The term used to indicate a recess formed in the, so in the timber member to formation of recess, which term is we are using? That is called as a grooving. Next, a timber which is fixed on the inclined position with this. So timber which is in that within the frame we can placing a inclined position, that is called as a louvers. So these are the terms we have to know about that. A good brick earth contain dash percentage of alumina. So as like as Al ASLIM, alumina, silica, lime, iron oxide, magnesia. So this alumina is in the content of 20 to 30, silica 50 to 60, lime less than 5%, lime less than 5%, iron oxide 5 to 6%, magnesia 1 to 2% or 2 to 4%. Out of this 1 to 2% is correct. So what is the question? Alumina is how much content? That is a 20 to 30%. The lower half of the arc between the crown and the skew back is known as. So what is it that means? There is a two support. So there is a two supports. In the two supports is called as an abutment. This is an course of an arc. So in that wedge shaped units, that is called as oozers are present. So what is the lower of? So this is called as the highest point of an arc. So this is called as a crown. This one as a key. So what is a lower half of an arc? So this is the center portion. The lower half is this one or this one. So what does that means? We can consider this as an arc. So this is a key. So this is one side. So as another side is also should be like this. In that the lower half of an arc is called as a, this is lower half of an arc. So this term is called as a haunch. So this term is called as an haunch. So this term is called as an haunch. Chips of a stone used to fill up the stone masonry. So while constructing the stone masonry, so we can place in the stones. So that is a regular or irregular or stone masonry are placing. So in that in between spaces will be there. So in these spaces we have to fill by chips of the stones. So that is called as an spalls. This spalls is also called as a snicks. So this chips of the stone masonry to fill up the stone masonry. So this is irregular shapes are there. So in the irregular or regular stone masonry will be straight. In between some of the spaces will be there. So to fill up the spaces we are using a chips of the stones. That is called as a spalls. The spalls is also known as a nicks. Painting PVCN means, so what is meant by PVCN means pigment volume concentration number. So PVCN, abbreviation of a PVCN is pigment volume concentration number. That is called as an pigment volume concentration number. That is called as an volume of pigment by volume of a pigment plus volume of carrier. This is called as an PBCN. Next. A brick whose one end is cut splayed for full width is called known as. Okay. So here, what is closer in the sense cut along the length. So brick can be cut along the length, that is called as a half as wide. Brick. So what is given? This is a brick. So one end is cut splayed. So here inclinedly cut. So what happened in this condition? Half width is maintained at one end. Full width at other end. So this is called as a beveled closer. So closer is cut along the end. Here half width, that is half as wide as a brick. So the half width is maintained at one end, full width is maintained at one end. So that is called as a beveled closer. Next, which tool is used to splitting the stones? That is called as a guards. So in stone masonry we are using splitting the stones, that is called as a guards. The science dealing with the effect of a very low temperature on the properties of matter. So nothing but calorics, physics, everything option is different. That is called as a cryogenics. The science dealing with the effect of a very low temperature on the property of a matter, that is called as a cryogenics. At the surface of the earth, the temperature and the metabolism is brought by the directed pressure only. Such metabolism. So what is meant by metamorphism? So there are three types of the rock: igneous, sedimentary and the metamorphic rocks. So the rocks which are formed by this process is called as a metamorphic rocks. So what is metamorphism means? Change in the character from pre-existing rocks. These pre-existing rocks are igneous and sedimentary. This character is composition and texture. That is a conversion of igneous and the sedimentary rock into the another form, just changing the composition and texture. That is called as a metamorphism. So these are the classification of the metabolism. So in that question is directed pressure. Directed pressure and also temperature is low. That is called as a cataclasic metamorphism. That is called as a cataclasic metamorphism. The trees increase more in length other than the width. That is called as a endogenous trees. It grow inwards. That is called as a endogenous trees. And then fibrous moss is seen. So that's why it can be applicable only for limited engineering application. So this is not useful for the engineering purposes. Exogenous rays are mostly used for the engineer purposes. So this endogenous, as it grow inwards, that's why it more in length, increase more in length rather than the width. So that is called as a endogenous trees. Next, sand passing through a screen with a killer. So 3.175 mm, that is called as a gravelly sand. So 3.175 mm, that is called as a gravelly sand. So 25th question, sand passing through a screen with a clear open sink of 3.175 mm. So 3.175 mm, that is called as a coarse sand. So that is which is 3.175 mm, that is called as a coarse sand. Next. Which of the following bricks are expected to have highest percentage of water absorption by its dry out? So in that, out of this engineering, heavy duty and fire bricks, fire brick is 5 to 10 percentage water absorption. So in that, which brick has the highest percentage of water absorption by its dry out? So highest percentage of water absorption is called as a common building bricks, normally used for building works, which has the higher percentage of water absorption by its dry weight. Next, process of two pieces of timber at an angle. So we just cut the timber into two pieces with respect to an angle, that is called as a metering. The bond in which a header cross is introduced after structure course is called as a. So this is the thing. What is the thing? In a header course is there. There is a several structure course, then header course. So this is several, that is a uncountable. There is not a countable condition. There is a more number of structure course will be placed, after that header course will be there. That is called as a facing bond. This facing bond is only applicable for thicker walls. Only applicable for thicker walls, and then here this one is not in use. Why it is not in use? Because unequal settlement will be there. Unequal settlement happens. Next, the timber which is partly or fully covered with resin is what is called as a. So timber, which resin is used, we can call it as a phenol formaldehyde. So this is a resin we are used. Strips of wood we are taking. So this wood can be immersed in resin, and then under a temperature of 150 to 160 degrees Celsius, we can get a consolidated mousse. So the timber which can be fully or completely with the resin, that is called as a Imberg timber. So the resin which is used as a phenol formaldehyde. The row of arc is in a continuation. So what is a row of arc in continuation means? So this is called as so the end supports are abutment. End supports are abutment, intermediate supports are pier. So this row of arcs is called as a arcade, not a multiple arc. This is called as a arcade. Outer curve of an arc. So in that curve, so this is a inner curve. Inner curve is intradose. This is outer curve, that is called as a extradose. So outer curve and arc is called as a extradose. Next, single Flemish bond. So what is the Flemish bond means? Flemish bond which has a two types. One is a single Flemish. So another one is a double Flemish. So double Flemish, both side, that is a facing Flemish bond, backing English bond. So here facing Flemish bond, English bond, backing English bond. So this is aesthetically pleasing. So here this bond is called Stendorf English bond with appearance of Flemish bond. So that is called single Flemish bond is front side is a Flemish bond and back side is a English bond. The overlapping of a bricks stones in the masonry is called as a, so that is a overlapping of a brick or stone in the masonry. So what is the overlapping of a brick means? We are arrangement of a brick or stones in the masonry, it bonded with the mortar, that is called as a overlapping. So that is called as a bond. So there is a arrangement can vary. We can placing a stones with the bonded with the mortar. So the arrangement can be vary. That is called as a overlapping. That is called as a bond, one by one. The brick laid with length parallel to the face. So this is a brick. This is called as a face. So parallel, this is perpendicular. So this is parallel to the face, this is perpendicular. So this is called as a header, this is stretcher. So what is meant by parallel to the face of the wall is stretcher. Next. The yield strength and the tensile strength of low carbon steel may be improved by the addition of, we are using a vanadium. Line part of a timber along log around the pith is called. So timber cross section is inner part is a pith. So this is pith. Surrounding that so this is called as an pith. Surrounding the pith, that is called as a hardwood. So outer layer is a bark. So next to outer layer, that is called as a cambium layer. Then this is called as a sapwood. And these rings are called as a these rings are annual rings. So and then some rays will be there. This is called as a medullary rays. So these are the things are there. In that, what is the question? Line part of a timber log surrounding the pith. So surrounding the pith, which one is present? That is called as a heartwood. The maximum percentage. So main ingredient of a cement is a lime. Refractory bricks. So refractory bricks are called as a fire bricks. It is made for fire clay. So it is used for lining of purposes. So it is made for the fire clay, though it has the capacity to resist the high temperature. The indentation mark left on the bricks during the process of molding. So there is an indentation mark. It should be in the 2 mm depth. There is an impression or indentation marked on the top face of the brick. It is used for holding the mortar, to keep for holding the mortar. So that is called as an indentation brick. It is called as an frogs. 1 cubic meter of Portland cement is 30 bags. 1 cubic meter of Portland cement is. A standard size of a semi-concrete hollow block is 40 by 20 by 20 centimeter standard sizes. What is the minimum wall thickness required for a single Flemish bond? Single Flemish bond brick wall. So what is the minimum wall thickness is? That is a single Flemish bond is a front side is a Flemish bond, back side is a English bond. This is called 1.5 wall brick wall thickness. We can use this 1.5 brick wall thickness. The age of a tree felling varies from. So the age of a tree is that is a 50 to 100 years. The age of the tree can be predicted with respect to the annual rings. These rings can be formed once in a year. So this is a consecutive rings formed in the tree. So it can be, each ring can be formed on the year. Once in a year annual rings are formed. So annual rings are used for predicting the age of the tree. So the age of the tree normally is a 50 to 100 years. The ingredient added in the manufacturing process to control the setting sign. To control the setting time of cement, which one is we can add it? That is a gypsum. The iron ore which contains a maximum amount of iron. So in which iron ore we can get the maximum amount of iron, that is called as a magnetite. Next, the timber caused by crushing. So that is a crushing and compression. Or else strong winds, what happens? What does a defect happen in the sense? Upsets. This upset is also called as a rupture. This upset is also called as a rupture. High alumina cement is produced by fusing together of. So high alumina cement is normally fused together by the formation of limestone and bauxite. High alumina cement is produced by fusing together a mixture of limestone and bauxite. And paint should. So why we are using a paint? Paint should give a color to the wall surface and it resists the it should provide resistance to what? Corrosion. Mainly for it is a non-corrosive material. It gives a resistance to corrosion. Which of the following can be used as a fine aggregate? Surki. Surki as a fine aggregate. This is a overburned bricks. So we can use as the fine aggregate as mortar. Surki we can use it as a fine aggregate as mortar. Next. So what is meant by glass? Glass, it is a mixture of a metallic silicate. So glass is a mixture of a it is a mixture of metallic silicate. We can get the it is also called as a super cooled liquid. So totally 50 questions we have seen. These questions are expected questions. So just to go through all the questions, we will get an idea about that. Thank you.